Welcome everybody to World of Warships. I'm your host, Deb by default, and in today's video I would like to talk to you about this little thing. The British Tier 8 destroyer HMS Lightning. The Lightning, obtainable from a special mission you can get from Royal Navy crates. I've heard that it's very rare to get the last special mission for the Lightning. It's very few and far between. I know some people that have it, most people don't have it, and most people are envious that I can start out at tier 8 on the British line. But the Lightning, what is she about? Well, Lightning hit points wise, you get 18,700 fully upgraded with survivability expert, which is pretty nice. At tier 8, there are some destroyers that can get higher than that, but not a lot. And it means you can stay alive pretty long. Armor-wise, well, standard destroyer armor to be fair. 90mm and 13mm over the whole ship. Just don't get hit. That's basically the thing you want to do in destroyers, don't get hit. And that's something this destroyer in particular is pretty good at. Okay, artillery. You have 120mm guns, 6 of them in dual turrets. They fire AP and HE. Your weapon of choice, well, I think it should be the HE, to be fair. The AP is not really that special at this tier, doesn't really do a lot of damage and really only can damage ships really close up. HE with your good fire chance and your, well, HE shell damage 1700, which is also pretty good. I would use HE all the way. Fast firing guns, 4 seconds on the reload, so well, that's pretty nice. Also, another feature of these guns, all the guns can rotate 360 degrees, which means you can always have 3 turrets on target in every situation. You can't fire them from every angle, but your angles are pretty good. It's about 35 degrees to the back, 35 degrees to the front, which is pretty nice. You can really run and gun away from things. Then the torpedoes. Well, the torpedoes are mediocre at best. 8 kilometer range, 61 knot top speed. Maximum damage of 15,867. It's pretty low. One nice feature of these torpedoes is that you can single fire them, which is a nice feature which can give you a bit more flexibility. But its arcs to the side are pretty bad. So I use the single fire just to spread out my torpedoes over a wide area, and I sometimes catch someone out, and if you get caught out by this thing with torpedoes, well, good luck engaging it, because it doesn't take any prisoners when it comes to the guns. AA defense, well, less said about the AA guns the better. Not really that special. Self-defense only, and the chance of you shooting down planes, well, pretty low, to be fair. But that's not what the ship is about. Well, then maneuverability, top speed, 36 knots, not really that good, and that's all you get. You can put a speed flag on to up it to 37.5, but you don't get a speed boost. This is the first destroyer line that doesn't get a speed boost, so you can't really run away from things, but you are pretty maneuverable. You have a turning circle of 590 meters, which is okay. And a rudder shift time of 3 seconds, which is also pretty good. So this ship can wiggle and can outturn things. And in a knife fight, it's, well, pretty hard to outmaneuver. It also, because of the 360 degrees on the turrets, it can really keep its guns on target and really put the hurt on when they are able to fire at you. So, not really the DD you want to get up close and personal with. Then the concealment, and here's where the Lightning is really special. The concealment is 5.5 kilometers with all skills and all upgrades applied. This is really good. There's only one ship at its tier that, well, actually 3 ships at its tier that are lower than that, which are the Kagero variants. But they can only outspot it by 100 meters, so that's not really a lot. I think that's more of a joke. I mean, if the Kagero can spot you 10 fraction of a second later, you can spot the Kagero, and yeah, that's not something the Kagero wants to happen. Then, module-wise, well, you have main arm modification 1 in the first slot, of course. Then you have steering gears modification 1. I found that the steering gears were the thing that was taken out most frequently, so I just put the steering gears modification 1 on it because of that. Third slot, aiming systems modification 1, nothing really there that can help you. Smoke generator modification, well, I get to that, but that's not a good choice at all. AA modifications, forget about it. And your main battery modification 2, you lose reload, DPM for a little bit more traverse, which you don't really need because the third traverse is fast enough as it is. Fourth slot, damage control, steering gears. Well, again, steering gears, rudder shift, you get 20% more rudder shifts, make the ship more maneuverable, and a better knife fighter, which this ship actually is. And then a fifth slot, of course, consumer systems mod 1, but because why would you choose anything else? Steering gears modification 3, if you're being ballsy, you could go for that, but concealment is always the better thing. The lower the concealment, the better you can contest caps, and the better you can stay out of trouble. Then, ammunition and consumables. Well, ammunition we already talked about. Consumables, repair party. The smoke generator. Why don't you want smoke generator modification? Well, this smoke generator has an action time of 10 seconds, but a dispersion time of 40 seconds. So this is really smoke just to run away. It doesn't last long, and it isn't active for long. So this is really a get out jail free card. That's all it is, and that's what you use it for. Then you have hydroacoustics. 3 kilometer hydroacoustics. Only for self-defense mainly, but you can hunt destroyers with it. If a destroyer is hiding in smoke, pop your hydroacoustics. It lasts for 3 minutes, and you can really catch DDs out if they don't know you're there, and get some pretty devastating hits off before they can react. Okay, so that's the lightning ship-wise, but what do you do with the captain? Well, for the captain skills, first slot, preventive maintenance. You don't want your modules to be incapacitated. You don't want that in any destroyer. Then, for your first 2-point skill, I would go for last stand. Well, always go for last stand. That's pretty simple. AR you could go for as first, but I don't think you really need AR till later. Reload is fast enough, and even though AR is nice, I think as an initial 10-point captain, just go for last stand. Then in the third row, first pick, survivability expert, no doubt. Get that HP up, get your survivability up. That's what you want. You could go differently and go basic firing training first, but I think survivability expert is a no-brainer. And then in the fourth slot, of course, concealment expert. Then with the extra 6 points that I have, I chose adrenaline rush. Well, get your guns firing faster the less HP you have, always nice. And then I went for basic firing training, get that rate of fire up even more, which is also nice. People might ask me, well, why don't you go for superintendent? Well, you don't really need it. You have a lot of smokes already. You have 6 of them. And okay, so you get an extra hydroacoustics. But you think about it, hydroacoustics is up for 3 minutes, then it has a cooldown of 2 minutes. So you can use 3 in a 15-minute span. Do you really want that extra 5 minutes? I don't think so. You don't use your hydroacoustics constantly. So I think basic firing training here is the best choice you can have. And then as my last skill, well, I'm going for inertia fuse on HE shells. Why? Well, better penetration, more damage output. And your fire chance is already high enough. You only lose 1%. So then you'll have a fire chance, just to show you, of 8% instead of 9%. And 8% on a destroyer, pretty good. Really good. So that's the Lightning and all her features. I like the ship. I like the Lightning. I think it's interesting. It's a hybrid, but more into gunboating, and it's a real destroyer hunter. That's its job. That's what it's for. It's there to contest caps, to catch other destroyers out with higher detection, and just to be an overall menace to every destroyer. At tier 8, when it's top tier, it dominates. If it's tier 9, tier 10, it struggles, but you can still use it. And the replay that I'm about to show you demonstrates that. It's a tier 10 game, and you can really see that the Lightning can shine in games like that as well, just because of its low detection. Okay, as promised, here's the Lightning replay. This Lightning replay will feature Draven in 1985 in the Lightning. He's divisioned up with myself in the Magi and Almo in the Akatsuki, and we're all in the clan Fifth Dimension Gaming. As you can see, it's a tier 10 game, 6 tier 10s per side, a couple of tier 9s, a couple of tier 8s, so it's quite a good mix. At the beginning of the battle, we have the center spawn, so Draven decides, together with Almo, to go and contest the B cap. I decided to go to the C cap together with the push over there, and we have the Yamato, the Humvee, and the Gearing going for the A cap. Now this replay starts off fairly standard. As you can see, the Lightning accelerates like a dream, but, well, top speed is a little bit to be desired. But then the Akatsuki is the fastest destroyer in the game as well, so, well, at least they stick close together. By now, we don't really know what the enemy team is going to do. We're suspecting that they'll also be contesting all the caps, and that we'll have quite a fight on our hands. The enemy team doesn't have radar ships, so that's an advantage for us. But the enemy team does have 2 Cabaros, which could be a problem. Anyone who has ever been in a game with a Cabaros division knows what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, in chat, a bit of a weird question. If I'm running a fully upgraded Amagi. Well, I've had it for 2 years, so of course I do. If I wouldn't, then I would be doing something wrong. Initially, Draven decides to close up to the island that is right next to B and try to get to the cap from there. So if anything shows up in the cap, then he can engage it. Well, the enemy team is already capping B, so at least we know there's something in there. Might be the Benson or the Asashio, because if it was the Cabaros, they would already be detected. And it turns out it's... Behold. Yep, he's going to show up. There's he is. There's the Benson. Now Draven tries some pot shots. As you can see, some damage. Not really that impressive. He's not running inertia high explosive yet, so... Yeah. Damage output leaves a little bit to be desired, but at least he gets Benson to smoke up and take a defensive position. Now, as you can see, Draven also smoked up and has his hydro run. 3-minute hydro, so he should be safe from torpedoes for the next 3 minutes. He's just waiting for these torpedoes to come by. And here is where young Draven makes a little bit of an error of judgment. He is in smoke, and he's thinking, well, I can fire blindly into this box, see if I hit something. But, as I told in the description of the Lightning, the smoke doesn't last very long. And before he knows it, the smoke runs out, and he is detected by everybody. Benji starts shooting at him, and unbeknownst to Draven, there's also a Cabaros in that smoke who really puts the hurt on, and Draven barely gets away with his life. Well, now he's on less than 3,000 health, and Draven told us in TeamSpeak, well, then I'm a torpedo boat now. Not really what the lightning is, but when contesting a cap, it can be pretty dangerous torpedo-wise because it has a relatively fast reload. And the torpedoes, well, 8 kilometers is enough to keep a cap controlled. Now here you can see the great detection range on the lightning. He can spot everybody if he wants to without being detected himself. Hydro's still running, so it's safe to pull out. He knows when he'll see torpedoes. Those weren't aimed for him. And one of the Kavros decides to go in and see if he can force Draven and Elmo out of the cap. But here's the thing. If you want to force a lightning out of a cap, you have to find them first. And that's where the lightning shines, because of the low detection. And there's the smoke again. Smoke reloads really fast. Kavros eats a torp. And well, he's basically in a lot of trouble now. Being shot at by multiple ships, set on fire. Probably uses damage control and the flooding. And well, yeah, Kavros is going to have a bad day. He'll keep burning and taking shots from ships around him. Now the Kavros will start to heal. There he goes. Oh, and by the way, when torpedoes hit the enemy Benson, you'll see him in the corner there on low health. He was in smoke, just sitting there, and one of the torpedoes hit him. You can make that mistake. Someone always does. Just sitting in smoke waiting, and then suddenly a torp pops up. Meanwhile, Draven destroys the Kavros by fire, so that's one of the enemy Kavros gone. And the Benson will probably take a defensive stance here as well, because, well, he's on low health, and with Nakatsuki and a lightning in there, he doesn't want to engage those two ships. Meanwhile, still haven't captured B yet, but we have captured C. If you look on the minimap, the enemy team is making a bit of an error here. They had let us have C, and basically they're pretty spread out, but their flank is completely exposed. There's only a Musashi there. Gave me a fright of the life. As you can see, I come around the corner, and oh damn, there's a full health Musashi, and I'm in a Magi. What to do? And I know I'm going to die here at this point. So I decide just to keep charging in and see how much damage I can do. Now, Draven, again, tries to take the cap. And he starts capping, lo and behold. Low detection, so there's nothing much the enemy can do. And his smoke is up again, so he can start capping in smoke without being detected. Since the enemy team doesn't have any radar ships, that makes life very difficult for them. Draven again will throw out some torpedoes in both directions. Hopefully somebody will run into them. Now, as you can see, again, there's a smoke screen up. Now, will the enemy Benson make the same mistake twice? Well, if there's one thing in World of Warships you can always count on, is that players will always make the same mistake. And right now, that Benson is sitting there in smoke, completely oblivious of the fact that, well, yeah, there are torpedoes coming. And here it comes. 3, 2, 1, and there it goes. The Benson. Sitting in smoke, not knowing that Draven is again ready with torpedoes. Guys, if you put up a smoke screen, you don't just sit in it and wait for something to show up, because smoke screens are torpedo magnets. And, well, the enemy Benson player learned his lesson, and he'll probably never do that again. Probably. Now, with B capped, we control C and B cap. And the Henry and the Richelieu on the enemy team, yeah, they're in a pretty bad position, stuck behind an island, being engaged from the sea cap by multiple ships, and the first one to fall is Henry. And the Richelieu, well, he tries to force the issue, but yeah, he has no chance. He comes out, and he tries to get it cover behind the island. But yeah, too many ships firing at him. He's taking damage all over the place. There's shots coming in from Henri, from Bismarck, from Missouri. And it's actually the Missouri, I believe, that finishes him off in the end. So those torpedoes Draven fired, well, they were pretty much in vain. Or were they? Because, hey presto, yeah, Mikavros decides to come back into the cap. And another blind torpedo killed by Draven. He's in the lightning, and in this case, lightning struck twice. So now the enemy team has 2 Montanas and an Asashio left. Yeah. They really don't stand a chance. The Montana is going to be focus fired, and he's in a pretty bad position. Although our Yamato completely on its own against an Asashio might come into trouble, but yeah, if you are an Asashio and you show yourself, if you look on the mini-map, yeah, then it ends pretty quickly for you. Yamato catches him out, and, well, the Asashio tries to force the point, but no chance. And this Montana, well, the only thing he can do is try to charge in and see if he can do any damage at all. But he's taking so much fire from everywhere. And he's, well, completely flanked. The Missouri is shooting from behind an island on one spot, the Rune and Salem from another spot, Curvers from another spot, and Bismarck from another spot. He's basically being fired upon by 4 different ships from 4 different positions. Impossible to angle. And now there are torpedoes incoming from everywhere. This Montana, well, he's going to be going down pretty fast. And here you can also see that if you do get focus fired, yeah, you don't last very long. Torpedo hit him. Pops his damage control, tries to survive, but yeah, Draven with another torpedo finishes him off. And that's basically the end of the game. The Asashios goes down against the Yamato, and there's a full health Montana left, who probably won't be able to do anything. So, that's Draven in the Lightning. 4 kills, 73,000 damage, on less than 3,000 health for most of the game. But you can see that it's a really dangerous ship. If you don't know where it is, it's hard to fight the Lightning. And that's how you play the ship. Just be an annoyance constantly. Well, this was Draven in the Lightning. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll be back with more videos soon. Thank you, and bye-bye.